So we'll start by connecting to our breath, and so connecting to our body, our sensing capacities. You feel the sit bones and the tailbone just gently rooting down. It's a downward kind of a descent. And so we bring our awareness, bring our feeling, our sensitivity to not only the tailbone, but even beneath the tailbone. We line up the skull bones over the tailbone. As we align and configure our skull bones, we allow our awareness, our feeling, to come through the head, the skull. But it does not stop there. It's not contained exclusively inside the head. We can actually feel above the head, through the head. Just the simple act of softening, the gesture of release, can enable sensitivity, our awareness, to be expressed through our body, to be felt, to be known through our body. So can we offer that gesture of softening through the shoulders? Through the abdomen. Our pranayama today will just help us slow and deepen our breath. Let's change the cross of our legs. Let's go knee pile, right knee over left. And as always, make this good on your knees. So if knee pile needs to be more like a cross-legged, right, we'll be taking about a 7 count inhalation followed by roughly a 14 count exhale. So it's a 1-to-2 ratio. We'll just take a few rounds. When we switch, we'll change a detail. So here we go. Let's start by exhaling everything out, getting the feet gently active, and we'll begin 7 count inhalation. Following that with 14 count exhalation. And just continue. We'll be doing this for many rounds. Can you feel that gesture of release occurring underneath the brain. Can you feel that gesture of release being enacted through the hips, the hip crease, the leg bones, as they melt down? We'll do one more round. Can you feel that gesture of release occurring under the heart and into the abdomen? And now we'll recross our legs so we're left over right. And I'll do that through a single nostril at a time. I'm going to select my right hand. You can select any hand, but I'll talk through the right. I'll be 7 in through the left nostril. 14 out the right nostril. Okay. Inhale through the right, 7. Exhaling out the left, 14. Continue in this fashion. 1-to-2 ratio, 1 nostril. Now, same ratio, but feel any shifts occurring in the body as we make this nostril or this narrowing change of how the breath is moisturized, funneled, turbinated in and through the body. And you feel that subtle shift. Is there a subtle shift for you? Breathing through 1 nostril, then 2. So feel mildly agitating, stirring, excitatory. Soporific. Continue until you've exhaled with your thumb down. Now after that round, I'm going to take the loop around my left ankle. We're setting up for a seated spinal twist, but we're using a strap. So I've looped my left ankle and my left knee points toward the sky. So I'm still left over right. Okay. Now the strap has to travel. The strap has to travel beside the right hip. Make sure it's the right hip, around the back, until it ends up by the left hip. Yeah, so it went clockwise around my back. Okay. And on your next exhale, we'll hook the right elbow over the left thigh. Right elbow over left thigh. I'll just stage right here for a moment, pressing the sole of the left foot into the earth. Okay. Now feel the sit bones and the tailbone almost sinking down into the mat. There it is. With these motions, there's a slight, almost reconfiguration of how we're aware, the shape of our awareness. Now, to use this strap, you can enhance the twist or go a little deeper. I'll pick the strap up with my left hand, and I pass it to my right. I've got to fold that right hand down. Make sure you fold it all the way down to the hip. So you're holding the strap beside your left hip over here. Okay? Now, my left hand, reach behind back. Grab some more. There it is. So you get a ton of support staying up in this twist. That's what we're calling it, support. And can the belly soften within these parameters? Can I breathe with a soft belly? Let's release, letting go of the strap, unwinding from the twist. And carefully unwind the legs, because we'll be twisting on the other side, which means our left leg is on the ground. The sole of our right foot's on the ground. The loop goes around the right ankle. The strap goes counterclockwise around the body. I'll say that another way, beside the left hip, behind the back, beside the right hip. Yeah. We're twisting to our right, so we'll hook that left elbow over the thigh. And when it feels right, you want to just kind of enhance or deepen this twist experience. We can pick that strap up, passing it to the left hand, which leaves my right hand free to reach behind back and find strap. Now, I'll grab the strap loosely enough so that I can feel both my sit bones on the ground. I can feel both my sit bones melting, descending toward the ground. Just staying with the breath, letting the belly soften. Feeling the back of the neck kind of release in the direction of the sky. And when we release, just carefully unwind. Okay. So after kind of twist and breathe the spine, how we give a little traction. So just a lot of really gentle breath, spine movements to begin us. Come on to your elbows and your knees. We'll be setting up dolphin prelude. For dolphin prelude, our knees will remain down and we'll clasp our hands. Bring the hands off the ground. Step the feet, or rather the knees, back, setting them widely apart. And when the neck feels relaxed, and this is really important for our breath to do the most good in our body, structurally, reflexively, neurologically, is allowing the jaw and the neck and the gut to all together soften. And then we reach the sit bones back, and this is the tractioning move. So if I don't experience traction, a couple of things. I may have to move my knees back some. I may have to feel for shifting my sit bones backward more so than belly draping downward. I'm not really draping the abdomen necessarily. I mean, I certainly could. It would lend itself to a lot of kind of tug and discovery in the armpit. But as we're just getting started and kind of defragging, if you will, the spine and connecting our breath to our spine, and treating this like a traction, like a suspension bridge. My hips kind of draw my butt away from my elbow anchors. My elbows are kind of anchored on the ground. And in that reaching back, there's just a gentle tensioning of the system where I take the slack out of some of these elastic, malleable, kind of aqueous, like watery matrix material. And I'm using my breath to feel the spaces in between my ribs and my spine. So while we're here, feel that upper back area with our breath. So how do you experience breath in the back of the heart, the upper spine bones? So you really have to get underneath the shoulder blades. Then a second question I have, if you're starting to feel breath under the shoulder blades, under those spine bones, can you feel a quality or a gesture of release around the back of the heart? And we'll give it a few more breath release gesture moments. You get really expansive with your breath. So you're filling every air sac in the mid lung, the upper lung. And to release, just shift weight forward. And we'll lie on our back because we'll have some more shoulder, spine, dolphin stuff later. But let's lie on back. And now it starts to get more activated, actively moving the spine and the gut and the breath. There's some more intra-abdominal pressures. So we'll bring the feet off the ground, the knees over the hips. And the hands are behind the head for support. Now I'm going to work this abdominal really quite like my dolphin prelude in the sense of I'm kind of tractioning. I'm feeling for a quality of length. As I inhale, the head and the shoulders up. I'm going to reach the elbows up and about an inch back. Back meaning over my head, above my head. Curl tailbone, exhale, the left leg reaches out. Now I can reach those elbows toward my right thigh, pulling the low belly down. Inhale back to center. I'm reaching the elbows up and an inch as if over my head, above my head. Curl tailbone, exhaling, right leg out reach. I can reach those elbows toward the left thigh. And I pull the low belly down. Inhale, bend the right knee. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg reaches out. I can reach the elbows toward the right thigh. I can lift the elbows up and slightly up over my head, above my head, pulling low belly down. Inhale, coming back centrally. Curl tailbone, exhale, right leg out reaches, and then the elbows a little to the left, up toward the sky, and a back over my head. That should be a really sweet abdominal find. Pull low belly down. And now inhale, when we come back centrally, you'll be on your own for 3 more on each side. So please continue. Now you can reach the elbows up and then toward the window behind you. Whoa, yes, there it is. So the whole elbows reaching above your head, up above the crown of your head, doesn't really allow me to curl like a C or a crunch. It kind of really taxes those upper abdomen muscles in a cool way. There you go. Up. Yep. But keep those blades up. There you go. Yeah. Good. And of course, when you're through. We should rest. That's a good thing to do. We're actually going to intersperse some of this abdominal stuff where we're breathing into the abdomen, creating this supportive intra-abdominal pressure. It's like structural support as we add some twists. So would you turn onto a side and press onto your left knee and your right foot? Now, if you need any padding, just add it in. So the way we'll move into this twist relates to what we just did on the ground. Okay. So first, all breath, no hands. I'm just going to touch my collarbones to make sure my hands aren't trying to pull me anywhere. Okay. So my first move, I'm inhaling into that abdomen and into that low back, just like we do our ground lying abdominals. And then as you exhale, turn to your right. My knees, my legs, my hips, no wobble. I'm just turning, and I just pause wherever I've turned. Connect to breath. The quality of breath will likely start to change. Good. As you exhale, you might turn a little bit more. You might stay relatively where you are. But the point is that we're probably not really twisting at the low back, and this is good. This is desirable. I'm breathing into the low back. And as I'm exhaling, I'm turning to the right. So I want you to get this feeling of no hands pulling us into the twist. Just us turning us into the twist. Get a sense of the breathing. Get a sense of where the twist is occurring for you in your torso, in your spine. And when you release, we'll inhale back to center. And we'll just do a really simple side switch. We'll put the right knee down and the left foot down. Okay. When I don't use my hands to pull in, you notice how there's a lot of this intra-abdominal pressure. There's this breath and pressure in my belly. And just as a side note, I've got my back toes curled under. We might not usually do this, but when I do, one, the sole of my foot gets a little stretch, but two, I can use my butt cheek to situate my pelvis. So here we are, inhaling, telescoping the ribs away from the gut and the hips, and then exhaling, we're turning to our left, unassisted, just us turning us. And wherever I pause, that's where I breathe. There's no rule saying that you have to twist further. Just connect to your breath. And the twist can feel very different side to side, so just appreciating any of those differences. Let's release. Inhale, back to center. All right. Now when we lie on our back, we grab our roll. We'll put that roll right between legs, reach the legs skyward. Inhale the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Squeeze, curl tailbone. Now exhale, reach the elbows toward your right thigh. Keep the squeeze, draw the low belly down away from the roll. Inhale, come back centrally. Let's keep the shoulder blades up for this portion. Squeeze the roll, curling tailbone. Exhale, reach the elbows toward your left thigh. Notice anything similar. Back stays on the ground, my inner legs are working. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. We'll just be going to the right and to the left. Sequentially, squeeze the roll. Exhaling, curl tailbone, reach elbows toward right thigh. Keep the squeeze. Increase it if you dare. Pull low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. Hold that breath just for a moment. Squeeze the thing. Exhale, curling tailbone, elbows reach left. Same scenario. My back stays on the ground, and there may be some movement through the mid-spine, the upper spine. Pull low belly down. Now inhale, come back centrally. Would you do 2 more per leg? 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and then again, 1 to the right and 1 to the left. On your own. And you can start to get a sense of how that upper torso rotates or moves to the left and to the right. You can get a feel for the back, the low back. Does it remain touching the ground? Is this one of those rocking, rolling moves? So try to That's it. Yeah. Let's hang on to the roll as we set up bridge. So the roll between the legs. The fingertips can skim the heels. Now, really soft hip crease, thigh bone, hip area as you connect to a deep ujjayi breath in your sacrum, in your pelvis. And then after you feel that inhalation and that pressure accruement, then give that roll a light little squeeze. Exhale, curl the tailbone toward the sky, the spine lifts, and we're in bridge. Now again, like a suspension bridge, as my tailbone moves toward the roll, as my thigh bones reach away from my jaw, I'm going to feel for that tractioning. The strength of my legs is pulling the pelvis away from the rest of my spine bones, away from my head. Now feeling that breath in the back of your body, in those spine bones. The breath seeps into those back muscles as the mid-back grows away from the low back. The upper back lifts and grows away from the mid-back. There's no collapsing the low back here, or there's no collapsing the upper back here. Now, if you add any degree of squeeze into that roll, connect to breath, so you feel that breath originating in the pelvis and the sacrum. There you go. So that little touch squeeze on the roll helps my legs kind of lengthen away from my jaw. As my breath lifts my chest bones away from the roll. So there's a lot of musculature, a lot of strength, but it's a very particular, supportive use of strength. All of this musculature in these poses, we're applying to support our breath. Not just our bones, our breath. We're supporting our breath. And on the next exhale, or several exhales, we'll begin our descent. So bringing the upper back down to the ground and the mid-back, low back and buttock. Now when you remove the roll, let's turn back onto our elbows and our knees as we set up some dolphin. So we go elbows under shoulders, forearms on the ground. And again, that neck relaxed. Inhaling into those back bones, those upper back bones. Toes curled under. Exhaling, knees off ground. In we go. Dolphin. I'm using my legs, all my heels and my backs of legs, and my legs' strength. Again, to draw, pull the pelvis away from the elbows. Here's that suspension bridge where I'm tractioning or lifting bone away from bone. Now, can I know if a bone is moving away from a bone? Right? We've got an exquisite sensitivity in and around the joints. So we can certainly practice sensitizing and feeling with care. And this isn't for the minutia of it. It's not like, ooh, I can feel a smaller and smaller thing, but this demonstration of care, this exquisite deep listening, right, is what we can stoke with these little details. To care, that's such a fine degree, it's such a fine level of bodily awareness. We'll give it just 1 to 2 more breaths. As you soften internally, feel the ribs lengthening away from the armpits. You're going to lengthen your pelvis away from here, lengthen here, away from here, lift, 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 lift. There you go. And gently set knees down to rest, please, please. When you are ready to stand, I'll meet you there. Wall is optional. We'll be doing a couple of poses standing on one leg, so you decide if you need wall. Okay. Standing splits, both hands, grab right foot. Okay. Now, once I've grabbed the foot, maybe this is where I pause, hold, and breathe. Straightening leg, option 2. If you fully straighten the leg, you may elevate the leg, bringing it higher and higher, closer to your nose. Good, connect to that breath in your low back. This is just like those abdominals. This is abs with a roll. There's just no roll here. I've got to use my inner legs. I'm reaching through my feet and my legs. I'm breathing into my low back and my low belly. It's... All right, second move. Take the left hand, grab the outer edge of the right foot for a standing alternate twist. Left hand, right foot. Reach right hand away from left hand. So my chest is turning to my right. And release just by bending that right knee, setting it down. Let's do the other side. Standing splits, both hands to left foot. There tends to be some concern about straightening the leg. If this is the pose for you, holding the left foot, I assure you there's great benefit in learning how to breathe here, bent leg, on your way to breathing into your back, straightened leg. So please know there's great value breathing with that knee way up to your chest. And that value comes in when we're doing things like stepping up 1 foot forward, stepping 1 foot forward in our sun salutation, stepping 1 foot forward softly. So I promise you it has great benefit. It's okay if the leg doesn't straighten. All right, standing alternate twist, right hand, grab left foot. Left hand, reach away from right hand. And release. Okay. Now, one bit more of wall work, we'll be doing downward dog at the wall. So if you need any mat, just go ahead and get it into play. And I'll talk us through. Our first move is downward dog. So with our heels skimming the wall, and our most native downward dog. Inhale, step 1 foot, hip height, keeping the neck ultra relaxed. Exhale, the left foot up to the wall. So this is option 1, remaining here. Option 2 is raising the left foot away from the wall, splitting the legs apart. Now we did all that standing stuff earlier, that abdominal stuff, that we might still be breathing into our belly, our low back. Exactly, yes, lifting that low back away from the mid-back. Exactly, now let's trade sides. Set the left foot back to the wall, exchange, right foot reaches away from wall. That's it. Nice. So if you're still breathing into the belly and into the back, congratulations. That's it. You can use that left leg. Use that left leg, really pull into the wall, lift with that left leg, yes. And let's set that right foot back. Set foot down, gentle exit, knees down. All right. Well, that's a journey. Let's continue. We'll continue away from the wall. Another nice thing about doing it with the wall, these inversions, even if we can do it without the wall, is the wall buttresses our legs, our pelvis into a particular alignment. And it may allow us to breathe into our abdomen and our back more regularly, more frequently. So all of these helper, all of these assist moves, they're not downgrades. They're here to upgrade us. So let's stand at the top of our mat. All right, we've got palm to palm, connecting to our breath. We'll be moving through suns. Inhale, draw the arms up, lifting the upper back away from the low back. Exhale, fold forward. Neck can soften. Inhale, step the left foot back, lunge. Hands to ground. Exhaling, step that right foot back. Lower all the way down, pulling the shoulders away from the neck. Cobra. Inhale into the abdomen. As you pull, upper back away from the mid-back. Exhaling, lower downward dog. Reset the hands. Press back. Now, here's what I was referring to earlier. We will inhale the left foot forward. So inhale, left knee toward chest. Setting the foot silently between the hands, lunge. So that stepping forward was what I was referring to earlier. Hands to ground. Exhale, right foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, reaching up. Exhaling, hands to heart. We'll do one more and I'll point out that lunge or that standing splits move. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale the right foot back, lunge. Hands to ground. Exhale, step left foot back, lower. Plank to ground. Cobra, inhale. Exhale, lower, downward dog. All right, now here's that move. Inhaling, right knee toward chest. So you feel out why this breathing into Into the low back, so important. Stepping that right foot down finally, lunge. Hands to ground, exhale, left foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Remain at standing pigeon. You can hook your right thigh with your right hand and grab your foot with your left hand, or two hands on right foot. Okay, standing pigeon. Okay. So if I had a little bit of a knee tweak or injury, I would cup my thigh and support my knee by lifting the thigh. And that way I can kind of relax and activate my foot and just care for my knee. And feel that breath in the low back. Good. Release. Set that down. Standing pigeon other side. I can do this one of two ways. Right hand, grab left foot. And the left hand can hold the thigh, elevate it. Or the left hand can grab the foot. And release. Set both feet down. Inhale, draw the arms up. Exhaling, fold forward. When we inhale the left foot back, set knee down for twisting lunge. Now as we exhale, usually we'll hook that left elbow over the thigh. I'm going to do this handless for a moment. When I feel like I've turned a fair degree, then I'll place the elbow there. Just a different approach than grabbing and pulling. And hopefully you feel that you can breathe into your back, your left side, your ribs. Now on exhale, slide a little bit further, bringing that left armpit next to the right thigh for interlock. Some days it just doesn't happen, so the wonderful thing is we don't have to force it. We just have to notice. Like, oh, this is how it goes today. Oh, this is how it feels today. And release. And when we inhale and unwind, we'll set the right knee down. Find a soft implement like your roll or a blanket rolled up. We'll be lying belly on roll. So make sure the shape suits your countenance today. If you've got a lot of grumblies, you gotta choose the right durometer. I'm feeling for the abdomen softening. Just, can I enact a gesture of softening, a gesture of kind of just putting down the carriage, the holding, allowing the breath to kind of peek in and express through the body. All right, inhaling. Let's bring our hands under our chest. Exhale, press to the knees. And on your next exhale, on another exhale, we'll press to downward dog. And again, I'm treating these downward dogs today like these traction moments where I can explore the feeling of there being more space, more give, more softness through the abdomen. I'm not trying to stretch it to happen. I'm not even trying to push it to happen. But I'm feeling with my breath, using the strength of my legs. It's a soft, it's a moderate, supportive, persistent strength. And I'm lifting my pelvis, the weight, the mass of my pelvis up away from my guts. So here's that move again. When we inhale the left knee toward the chest, picking it up, stepping that left foot down for twisting lunge. Okay. And as we turn into our twisting lunge, I'm going to do this hands free. So I'm doing all of the turn without pulling. And then at long last, just touching my elbow to my thigh, so I can get a fulcrum, some leverage. You know, after we've been doing this for 6 years, 10 years, 15 years, a while, it becomes ever more important that we find new and supportive ways of entering into the same poses and gestures, right? Because we certainly don't want to exploit things like the ligaments around our ribs, the ligaments around our spine and our discs. That could be really painful if it gets kind of worn out, fatigued, right? There you go. Good, I'm breathing into that low back, breathing into that abdomen. There's that wonderful kind of intra-abdominal pressure. It's a soft pressure. It's kind of a billowing breath moving in and through the organs and expanding the ribs, structuring us from the inside. And when we exhale, we'll slide this right armpit down for interlock. And when we release, inhale and wind. Set the hands down. Exhale. We're going to step forward into a forward fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. All right. So here's where you will do some hand and wrist stretches as I go through the two options that are available to us today. So if you recall, you can grab 2 digits at a time. So I'm just grabbing little finger and ring finger, pressing the palm away from the navel, and just continually breathe as you move through 2 digits at a time. And let me discuss these 2 options for being on our hands today. One is an Ekapada push-up, if you will. Let me show it to you first. I come at it from downward dog on the wall, but my feet are a little bit higher. Then I inhale and draw a knee toward my chest and press it back. And I can alternate. Now, I really am just showing you bending the knee toward the chest. That's a great amount of work. Could I bend the elbows and touch the knee to my arm? Absolutely. Pushing out of there is a great deal more challenging. Option 2 is working our Ekapada with a block. Okay. So this is a little bit lighter for the hands, but that's about it. So I've got a foot, I've got my knee really high up against my armpit, my arm. Elevate the hips. And I may do this as an oil rigger, where I lift the straight leg up a few times before switching sides. Okay. So once you've done the wrist stretches through both hands, you may have seen something you want to get into. Let's. So I've got this Ekapada push-up, essentially downward dog on the wall, feet a little bit higher than usual, and then I step knee to chest, foot to wall. Knee toward chest, foot to wall. Okay. If I can help, do you need to see it again? I'm happy to show you again. Yeah. So it's good. There you go. Good. Good. I'm hearing the sounds of brake pads. It's not the easiest, no. And if you're doing the wall work, couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side is plenty. If you're doing the oil rigger with a block, it's very smooth cadence. It's utterly controlled, lifting, lowering cadence. The control of the raising and the lowering of the leg will actually build the stuff that we need to sustain our crow and really all of our hand balancing. There you go. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that the leg goes 1 foot off the ground or 4 feet off the ground. It's that, can I breathe? Can I soften the neck? I'm really splitting my legs apart in a strong way. I'm really stretching my legs apart. The bent leg from the straight leg. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like that wall leg did something. Cool. And of course, go until you need a break. Just something I've noticed in a lot of these kinds of poses where the legs move apart from one another is if I focus on moving one leg, it's really heavy. It is just a sack of potatoes. If I focus on moving both legs apart, it gets light and it gets really energized in a hurry. Cool. So if that fulfills your flying fantasies, come on back to our mat. I will stand at the top again. We'll take a last pass at some stuff just as an unwind, and we may bring this to a close a little bit sooner than 11:30. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach the arms up. I'm shifting the tailbone down a little bit so I can get into those upper back muscles. Exhaling, fold forward, softening through the neck. Monkey. Inhale, collar away from lap. And exhaling, we'll set the hands down, step the feet back, and lower. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, we're moving into a warrior one for ostrich. Inhale the right knee right up to your chest. This isn't unlike that Eka. Oh, there it is. It is that move from the wall. Interlace hands behind back. Exhale, fold. Ostrich. Now, when we inhale the hands down to the sacrum, let them go and place them on the ground. An adjustment is in order. Align your right heel to the instep of your left foot. So most of us, I know I do, have to change my footing a little bit as we move into interlock. So again, my right heel bisects my left instep. My right arm's on the inside. I take left hand behind back. Inhaling, grow the left chest wall forward. So you can feel breath under that left side. And when you release the hands, we move into pigeon. So inhale, let them go to the ground. Set the left knee down. Exhaling, walk the right foot over, lie the right shin down. Now, if you'd like to explore some more angles or tones of the hips, you could grab left foot with left hand. Okay? It's an option. And keeping that right foot active by pressing out through the heel bone, drawing those littlest toes back toward the knee, into the ground, back toward the knee. And when we release, inhale the hands under the chest, under the shoulders rather, exhale, downward dog. Let's take a couple extra breath moments here. There's a tendency for us to impact our own core, our own body with our weight. Feel for using the legs and lifting the pelvis away from the guts. And lifting the guts away from the heart and shoulders, unimpacting. And in that brief moment, if you feel that unimpaction, connect to breath. This may be how we can glimpse feeling a more open state through our body. Kind of mimics or touches on that openness of mind, that openness of heart. And sometimes we just get a little sliver of it posturally. All right, here's that ostrich. Inhale that left knee all the way into that chest, stepping that left foot forward. Yeah, give it a whirl. There it is. That's why we did all that Ekapada anyway. Might as well put it to work. Clasp hands behind back, exhaling, fold. So we're moving into interlock. First, we'll inhale the hands down to the sacrum, place them on the ground. Stay low, stay folded. Align your left heel with your right instep. Now I start to roll open the chest. All of this, I'm turning without the use of my hands. And then I just connect my hands. A little icing on the cake. So again, I'm not even using my hands to pull myself in here. I'm just turning, staying connected to breath so I can breathe into the back, supporting the back. And when we release, pigeon. Inhale, we'll set the right knee down. We'll walk the left foot over, lying the left shin down. If you want to explore this pigeon in a different way, remember you do have access to right hand grabbing right ankle and drawing the heel toward the butt. And when we release that right foot down, inhale the hands under the shoulders, exhaling downward dog. Now, reach with the heel bones down, send the backs of your legs away from your jaw. Lift the pelvis away from your armpits. I will complete the sun. Inhaling, step or lightly jump the feet forward, monkey. Exhaling, fold. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. And then stand, exhaling, hands to heart. All right, let's have a seat as we prepare for Shavasana. Okay. So help yourself to rest position. We have time, so if you need an additional pose or two to help you feel more thoroughly at ease, please employ it. And when you are ready to rest, come on in. And perhaps the utter simplicity of the ebb and the flow of each breath can nourish us in this rest phase of our practice. Resting in the fullness of each breath, the aliveness of each breath. As we feel each breath recede, we can start to glimpse the emptiness. It's astonishing emptiness. When you're ready, we'll bend knees. And turn to a side. And press to seated. Namaste.